I think we're going to have everybody take their seats. Are we good? I can't hear you. Okay. Good, thank you. Well, I think we're going to try and get started. So hello, everyone. Okay. Okay, so my
everybody, it's the first time in hybrid, so you got it.
Hey, Tess? Yes?
unmute. Done.
Okay, ask if they can hear you.
Okay, can Zoom people please let me know if I can be heard?
Yes, yay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for everyone on Zoom. Okay, so I'm welcoming everybody. I'm thanking everybody for bearing with our hybrid technology as we've tried to figure this out. But we're so happy to be able to offer both, the electronic attendance as well as in person. So thank you. And we're delighted that this is the first or the 9th year of our giving into the Dane County community. So tonight we're very pleased to welcome these fantastic organizations to 100 Plus Women. Under consideration for tonight's Impact Award are Badger Prairie Needs Network, Chandra's House of Hope, and BSP Free Clinic. We also welcome UW Odyssey Project back to 100 Plus to provide us an update since receiving the December donation. So thank you all, guests and current members, for joining us this evening to hear about our stories of these amazing organizations. We're thrilled to be gathered tonight and to award the first Impact Award of 2022. So we welcome anyone who's considering membership to reach out to any of us about this organization. We'd love to answer any questions you have and hope you consider joining our incredible group. So here's our agenda for the evening. So one of our hallmarks is certainly that we keep the meeting to 1 hour. We want to be very respectful of everyone's time. So before we begin our charity presentations, we have just a few announcements. Each charity will have 5 minutes to offer their presentation, and then that's followed by 5 minutes of Q&A. We'll be facilitating both Zoom questions from the chat as well as in the room questions. And following the question answer, and after the third charity presentation, we're going to hold a live vote. And so we'll have the Zoom poll active for all those attending by Zoom, and we're going to merge those numbers with the ballots that we're collecting here in the room to get the total. So we'll announce the charity who will be awarded our Impact Award at the end of the meeting. So thank you all. We also had a lot to adjust to with this last quarter because we became one team. So we changed over to the We Are One Team model where every member gets to vote. Invoices are sent out quarterly, and everybody should have received a ballot this quarter to allow them to choose which of the 3 organizations should come forward at this quarter. We had a huge participation. If anybody had any troubles with SurveyMonkey or need to update your contact information with us, please shoot us an email and let us know. And any member who requested an annual invoice received it in March. So that's always an option if anybody just wants to have one invoice for the whole year. So those went out just to let people know. All members received an electronic invoice for the March 7th quarter. I'm sorry, for the March quarter on the 7th, providing you electronic payment options. So we appreciate your prompt donation. Payments can be made at any time after receipt. And as a courtesy to the winning charity, we like to gather as much of the funds as possible within the first 1 or 2 weeks. So starting in 2022, 100% of our proceeds go to the charity. So we've always forwarded all your donations. But so we like the ACH donations if you can choose to do that. So we do offset the tiny credit card fee against the donation that's made. And so 100% goes to the charity. So please consider making an ACH electronic payment so that 100% of your donation benefits the charity that's selected each quarter. And as always, we also allow checks to be payable. So you can always drop them off here tonight or send them in to our PO box. And we have this information easily available also on the website for everyone. One quick thing I forgot to mention on the last slide was about auto pay. And so we received feedback from some of our members that they had auto pay on their electronic invoice and they didn't want it to just automatically happen every time. So if you are one of those people and you don't want it to be on auto pay, you want manual so that it'll not automatically do what you set it for the year, then send us an email, please. So we respect that some people may not want it on auto pay. So tonight, participating in our meeting, our chat feature is reserved for charity questions or any technical difficulties. 1 vote per member. So I know that some of you may have registered both on Zoom and come in person. So just 1 vote. You can choose how you want to vote. And Angela is going to be watching the chat and helping us to forward those questions to each of our charities. So we've got the live vote. And yep, only members can vote. And so we're asking guests who are attending by Zoom or attending in person to refrain from voting. So we invite Rhonda Adams. Rhonda is going to be our MC for the best part of our evening. So a big thank you to each of our guests and all the charities attending tonight's meeting. So Rhonda.
I am short. I am really short. I didn't realize how short I am. Can even see me? I would just want to share my excitement, as Tess said, really just to have those of you that were comfortable in coming out tonight. Thank you for coming. And then also for those of our friends that are joining us via Zoom, just really excited for tonight. And it's getting warmer out too, so that's another good thing. So Susan will be our timekeeper. So she's right up front here, and she has the little handy dandy cards that'll show how many minutes that are left for each presenter, and also with the Q&A. So it is a great pleasure to introduce our first speaker for tonight from BSP Free Clinic. We welcome Joanne McCain and Tricia Levenhagen. Special thanks to 100 Plus Women member Sandy Henshaw for the nomination. Joanne, you ready to go? Okay.
Hi there, I'm Tricia. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to present today. You have found a great way to collaborate and make a substantial impact on our community. We are currently changing our name from BSP to Specialty Care Free Clinic to clarify our mission. The Specialty Care Free Clinic is a small, unique, relatively unknown local nonprofit that makes a big impact on the lives of our patients, their families, and our community. Our goal is to increase health equity in our community by bringing free specialty care to the uninsured who would otherwise go undiagnosed or untreated. We have 35 top-notch physician volunteers covering 18 specialties, everything from cardiology, ophthalmology, orthopedics, rheumatology, neurology, and that's just to name a few. This also includes psychiatry, which has treated PTSD in women who have experienced domestic violence. We have 40 other volunteers, which includes nurses, physical therapists, physician assistants, and Spanish interpreters. We are very appreciative of the many Spanish interpreters who volunteer, as our patient population is roughly 75% Spanish speaking. Joanne McCann has been a practicing nurse for over 45 years and is a wonderful volunteer and has been with us at our clinic for 3 years. I'm pleased to introduce her to give you a snapshot of our clinic.
Thank you, Tricia. Hi, I feel very honored to be working at BSP and be associated with their staff and patients. Being able to work, I'm sorry, thank you. Okay, being able to work with them has made a really positive impact on my life. Picture yourself going to your primary care provider. Unless you have a fairly routine, non-life threatening issue, you expect to be referred to a specialist. That's the way our health care system works. The 7 free clinics in South Central Wisconsin who refer to us are staffed by primary providers. Before our inception, when a patient needed advanced care due to the affordability, they would forgo it. That is where our clinic fills the gap. Our clinic has existed for 20 years. Last year, we provided over 1,200 patient care visits. Not surprisingly, an increase of 13% over our previous years. Imagine you cannot afford Obamacare, don't qualify for Badger Care as you make more than $12,888 a year, or haven't lived in this country for over 5 years. You may have diabetes, seizures, kidney failure, or cancer. You are suddenly too sick to work. To top it off, you don't speak fluent English to navigate our complex medical system. The only free specialty clinic in Wisconsin is our clinic. We diagnose, refer for free testing, and treat the issue, and if needed, schedule surgery through our local hospital programs. Let me give you a couple of examples of patients I've checked in the last few months. The first one is a 21-year-old male with seizures starting at age 3. He had been prescribed a number of anti-seizure medications, none of which completely worked. He now is having grand mal seizures daily, accompanied by migraines and unable to keep food down. He could barely walk and was emaciated. Dr. Dooley assessed his problem and started him on a new medication and gave him, Dr. Dooley gave him his own cell phone number because the patient didn't want to go to the emergency room because he couldn't afford it. 1 month later, he comes back seizure-free for the first time ever and is planning on attending Madison College in the future. We also had a woman who brought her son into neurology. The son asked us to help his mom, who had suffered severe long-term domestic abuse. The mother was unable to have anyone touch her or surprise her without experiencing severe anxiety. She is now seeing our mental health provider for PTSD.
Okay, we're done. I'm going to sneak back in here.
Sure.
Thank you so much. We have now our 5-minute Q&A where members can ask questions of our speakers. Thanks to Joanne and Tricia for the great presentation. And does anyone have any questions? Val's going to come around with the microphone. There we go.
Where do you get your funding and what would you do with the funds if you were awarded?
Our clinic is completely funded by grants or personal donations from individuals within the community. So that's entirely how we operate. And if we were to be able to be lucky enough to be chosen for this grant opportunity, we would hire a Spanish interpreter to be on staff to help our patients day in, day out, and to go in the visits with the provider and to help them navigate through the health system after they're seen at our clinic.
So all our interpreters, I'm sorry, all our interpreters are volunteers as well. We have 3 part-time paid people, Tricia being one of them. And then we have a receptionist that's bilingual and an office worker that's bilingual. But a small grant would allow us to hire someone, say 18 hours a week, to help us, because there are many days when we don't have adequate interpreters and we just have to wait.
The other thing is our patient population sometimes is very fearful of the healthcare system. And so they will really open up to those Spanish interpreters more so than they will the provider. So we have had patients, the physician will go and get paperwork to order a test or something like that. And then the patient will sit and talk to the interpreter and unload more information about their experience that they're having. We just had a patient recently who came in with a major GYN issue, and she cried throughout her whole appointment. And the doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong. The doctor left the room, and the patient disclosed to the interpreter that she's experiencing a lot of abuse at home. She's 77 years old, and she came from another country to live with her family in the United States, and she's living in this home and being abused by a family member. One of the family members was sitting in the lobby, and so we had to keep it very confidential as far as what she, why she was crying and what was going on. And behind the scenes, we were able to find some help for her and assistance. But 77 years old, can you imagine? Yeah. So we need the interpreters. Any other questions?
We have a question from Zoom.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
What would the money be used for if you are awarded the impact award?
The money would be used.
Yep, repeat the question.
Do you want me to repeat
Yep,
the question?
please.
Oh, what would the money be used for if we were to receive the grant? And we would use the money to hire a Spanish interpreter to work with our patients and have that consistent person there, because those patients feel very comfortable when they see that familiar face, and they're more often than not willing to open up to that Spanish interpreter.
Any other questions?
talk about all the specialties that you mentioned a couple?
Yep, we have specialties. We have specialists who come in who see patients from head to toe, anything neurological, all the way down to your feet, podiatry. And we see about 1,200 patients a year. None of them have insurance, a lot of them being very hard workers. And so we have patients who, because of the nature of the job that they do in the restaurant industry, or they are cleaning offices, they come in and they have significant health issues that are limiting their ability to do their job. So we're able to help them find a surgery that they need, or sometimes, you know, we see so much too as a nurse. A lot of patients who are diabetic and they have eye issues and they have feet issues and they need to see an endocrinologist to get some medication. And so once we can see them and take care of them and get them on a really good path, they're able to go back to work and make the money that they need to support their family. A lot of them have multiple people from their family living with them that they work to support.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
In our second presentation tonight, we welcome Chandra's House of Hope. Our presenter will be Dennis Hill and Kevin Florick. They'll be available during our Q&A. So thank you, 100 Plus Women member Lisa Wilkins, for your charity nomination. Dennis? You Kevin?
I'm Kevin.
Yes, this
You're
is
Kevin? Okay, so I'm gonna.
So we're very lucky that Dennis, so he had originally recorded his presentation today because he's presenting from Florida, and I can't get it to embed in my slides. So he is kind enough to present from Zoom, and so we'll be able to hear him in the room from Zoom. So.
Remind him that 5 minutes.
And Dennis is reminded that it's only 5 minutes.
Dennis, you're on mute. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Am I coming through?
Yes, you are, Dennis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Dennis Hill. I'm a co-founder of Chandra's House of Hope, our sober living home on the east side of Madison. We service
Dennis,
Can you hold the
women in-
microphone up to your computer?
Dennis, I apologize. We can hear you via Zoom. We're having trouble hearing you in the room. You can hang on 1 second. Thank you so much. Appreciate your patience.
Just let me know when you want me to start.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
Dennis, can you speak for a minute? Just
Sure.
give us
Can
a
you hear me now?
10 minutes. No, probably don't need that.
Okay.
How about now?
Yeah, bit of an echo.
Get a little echo.
Perfect.
Can you hear me now? Okay, all right. Hi, my name is Dennis Hill. I'm co-founder of Chandra's House of Hope, which is our sober living home on the east side of Madison that we have established since March of 2018, servicing women in the greater Dane County area that are in need post-treatment. The house is named after my daughter, Chandra Judith Ann Hill, who suffered from a substance abuse disorder and a misdiagnosed and untreated mental health condition. She took her life many years ago. And from that point forward, I was with her, oh, by the way, every 10 plus years of the journey of agony that she was going through, trying to find solutions to her problems. After her death, I fell into a deep, dark grief journey and wasn't sure that I wanted to continue living myself. And then I was rescued. And when I was rescued, I was basically shown three things that I have to do. And one was I had to write Chandra's story. Number two, I had to tell Chandra's story. So I started an organization called Journey for Chandra, which is its objective is to raise awareness to affect change in this battle that we fight, that so many, many people on the street are in agony over today. The third one, I prayed for an expansion of my territory, and it came to me in Chandra's House of Hope. I met with Tellurian and CEO Kevin Florick, who's present with you this evening. We partnered on this magnificent journey, and we have been able to put together this wonderful sober home for our women in Dane County that has done so much for them. At the top of the list, healed them. Chandra's Home is a safe housing, safe shelter for our women post-treatment. All clinical services come into Chandra's house via Tellurian, who I'm partnered with. We have free dental. Most of all, we have a loving home environment that's created in Chandra's house. Our women know that they're loved. And big picture, ultimately, our women are transitioned back into the community where they belong. Now what? Why am I here tonight? Well, many of our women come to Chandra's house with some severe financial deficits. They're not able to meet their rent. Maybe there's a transportation issue. Maybe there's an insurance problem. And just plain meeting living expenses is a real challenge for our women. And they face this when they come into Chandra's house before they become employable. So another reason why I'm here in front of you tonight is to talk about an expansion. We need more sober homes in Madison. We need more sober homes in Dane County, and we need more sober homes throughout the state and the nation. It's time for us to expand our boundary lines and have another Chandra house. We don't know where, but if we start to gather the financial resources, we soon will start to blueprint that plan. We also need to partner with transitional rental agencies out there in the community. So when it's time for our women to leave Chandra's house, we don't just say to them, well, it's time for you to go find an apartment to rent. We help them through a network process that would certainly open up some gates for us. In closing, Tellurian treats over 8,000 people a year, 8,000. Many of those people go back to their damaging environments and end up back at Tellurian and other treatment centers. They relapse. The recidivism rate is off the charts. We can do something about this and make a change. And I certainly hope this evening that we can make that happen. Our women need your help. We need your help. Thank you ever so much for partnering with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for putting up with or figuring this
Please
out.
start over. The request is to please start over.
Okay. Can you restate the question, please?
Yes. I can if I can find it. How many women do you serve each year? How are you funded? And please tell us how you would use this award.
Yes, so the household 6, and we, depending on the turnover rate and on how that goes, it could be 15, 20, 30. The hope is we expand and add on and do more of that. The funding is 100% on donors. When Denny came to me, and Denny was the coach at East High School, I don't know if a lot of you recognize him, and he came to me. I've never met him, and he shared his story, and by the time I wiped the tears from my eyes, I'm like, holy crap, we have to do something. I can't say no to this man. And so what he and I have done over the last 5-6 years is everybody we meet, we say, can you give us $25 a month? Can you give us $10 a month? Can you? And we have volunteer women that come in and spend their time. And Denny is there literally once or twice a week with his wife. They do family meals. They do, they pour their heart and soul into all this. So the funding really comes from families and friends, because Denny, like a tough football coach that he is, he says he's tired of the BS and he's tired of the government. So we know insurances don't pay. We know the government isn't going to pay for this stuff. And we've just done it through big borrowing and stealing. I think the other question was circuses. Well, we have quite the array of folks that have donated their time. Dental time, we have the spa that'll help ladies get ready for their, getting the hair and stuff done, and some of those things you take for granted. We have volunteers that come in that are sponsors. Each woman needs to they have a treatment plan. So they've all graduated from our residential inpatient unit. So keep that in mind. They are, because there's not a lot of room at the proverbial inn, we were able to really kind of handpick folks that really need this gift. And so we work on finding jobs, and the psychiatrist will pop in and make sure that the meds are taken care of. So we continue to adopt them as they move through life and life's journeys. And it's just something that we're really proud of. And it's so thankful that we can keep Chandra's memory alive through such a horrible tragedy. And I have so much respect for Dennis, who has taken something so horrific and has turned it into something good. So thanks.
It was mentioned earlier about recidivism. So are the rates different for people who go through this sort of?
So there's gaps are a big issue in our line of work. And the gaps and the recidivism. When I first met Danny, we were like, we got to do something. And one of the big indicators on our, we try to do tracking when people graduate. And what we found was people that graduate from residential treatment, they come to us roughly for 30 days, and we do dual diagnosis, mental health and addiction. I'm trying to talk fast. So you'll see our psychiatrists, psychologists, master's degree, social workers who are certified in addiction and mental health. So we simultaneously treat both. So things are going really well. You're there 30 days, things blah, blah, blah. And then we notice during aftercare, like, oh crap, here's what was happening. You go home to your environment, and the living environment was horrific for some of the folks. So Denny and I brainstormed, and like Chandra, needed a level of care like this that insurances and governments do not pay for, but women were slipping through the cracks, and this was our stopgap to try to help folks like his daughter.
Is there still time?
1 minute.
Is your intent with the money to expand into more housing or services?
No, it would be right now. Well, Denny would love for me to open up 10 of these right now, but no, for the monies that we're requesting today, would strictly go directly to the women that are there for food, clothing, clinical treatment, and rental assistance, and job shares and stuff like that.
We have a double question. How long do women usually live at Chandra's house, and what mental health counseling options are provided?
Anywhere from a few months to, we had one lady who's stayed over a year for numerous clinical and socioeconomic and numerous reasons. And the second question was,
What mental health services are provided?
pretty much anything. We do a lot of trauma-informed care, as you can imagine. At 15 seconds, a lot of the women that we see have major sexual and mental health trauma that they've been dealing with. But we also do post-traumatic stress and any type of psychiatry that you can imagine. We specialize in through our different psychiatrists and counseling. Got it? Got it. All right. I like an auctioneer. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin and Dennis. And finally, our third charity presentation, we welcome Karen Dedinger from Badger Prairie Needs Network. Thank you, 100 Plus Women member Kathy Stewart, for your charity nomination. Karen, are you ready? Let's take it away.
Hi, thank you for inviting Badger Prairie Needs Network to present tonight. I'm a member of Badger Prairie's leadership team. I'm a volunteer. We're a 100% volunteer organization. One step, there you go. Okay, and I'm also the lead on the new training center, which I'm going to talk about this evening. So Badger Prairie Needs Network started more than 35 years ago in Verona to fight poverty and end hunger locally. We operate one of the busiest food pantries in Dane County. We partner with Epic and Promega to recover food from their cafeterias and distribute it. We run a community meal on weekends and free legal advocacy. And underlying everything that we do is about respect, dignity, and kindness. We do this with a 100% volunteer workforce. We distributed about 1 million pounds of food last year. Each year we have done that with about 1,000 volunteers working to fill a variety of roles. This spring, we're taking the next step in fighting poverty to go beyond the basics of providing food. So we will still continue to provide food, but we're also finishing construction on a 4,800 square foot training center and have developed several partnerships to provide training. So our goal is to materially improve the lives of people we serve, particularly minority and low income households, by supporting adults and get into jobs that provide family sustaining wages and benefits and provide a career path. The families we will help have been hardest hit by the pandemic. Some are unemployed, others are frontline workers who've either lost their jobs through because their companies shut down or had to keep working despite family illness, kids having to learn at home, and just all the challenges that a lot of us have faced through various variety of degrees. So in 60% of the families who get food from our food pantry, at least one adult is employed, and they still need to use a food pantry because their wages won't sustain their family. These families make difficult choices every day. Low-income parents are most likely to work in stressful, low-quality jobs that have little autonomy, inflexible hours, and few or no benefits. And low-income children whose parents are working are more likely to be placed in inadequate childcare or to go unsupervised. So these families don't have choices. And there's significant research on education and economic achievements and how, when parents do achieve, how that impacts the opportunities for their children and their children's children. So for the little girl or little boy living in poverty who sees their parents struggling day to day to make ends meet, to find time to help them with their homework, and to even have the energy to spend time with them, these kids are not seeing options and choices for themselves. So they need to see examples of families in their community who are in family sustaining jobs and careers, and the sense of pride that comes with that. So you need to see it, to dream it, and they need to know that they have choices. So our first major training partnerships are with the Latino Academy of Workforce Development. We have an MOU with them, and the Workforce Development Board of South Central Wisconsin. Our first program is a commercial driver's license training, which is in high demand by employers in the area. Students will take classroom training at our training center, and then they'll do their behind the wheel work by going to food banks and then our partners such as grocery stores to recover food and bring it back to the pantry. The other program that we're developing right now is a Serve Safe training program for kitchen management, so that people can move out of low-wage food service jobs and into leadership roles. We have a commercial kitchen and that'll be used for that. So while job-specific training is our primary focus, we're also partnering with others on foundational skills training, English, financial literacy, wellness program, and a speaker series drawing upon community resources. The space will also be available for families to use and for public rental. So we're thinking big and we're talking about impacting families for generations. And we've been told many times that we won't be able to achieve what we think we can achieve with volunteers. But we really live by that Margaret Mead quote, which is never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. So thank you for considering our program to create generational change and options for families. And if you'd like more information or interested in a tour or have ideas for programs or speaker series, I would love to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So it's time for Q&A for Karen. So any questions? There we go, one.
I'll just figure it out.
Okay.
I just would like to understand, how do people come to your, to get to know your services? How are they referred to you? How do you help people? And what do you plan to do?
So people we've been in operation for 35 years. So we're very well known in Verona, Fitchburg, and South Madison in the school districts there. So they initially learn about us through social workers and schools, and there's a lot of word of mouth now. What we would use the money for is some computers and workstations. Part of it would be maybe $4,000 of it for that, because we want to. We will also have folks from the job centers on our site, and they would be and helping people apply for jobs online and write letters and so on. So we want to purchase some computers and workstations, and then also for scholarships for the Serve Safe and the training and the commercial driver training.
How accessible is your site? Are you on major transportation corridors?
There's a bus route, but we are on the edge of Verona. So transportation has been difficult for some folks. There's a lot of folks who do carpool and share rides, and we do food delivery for folks who can't make it to our site. Yeah.
We have an online question.
I think the question was, who will do the instruction and do we have job placement services? Okay. So the instruction would be professionals through the Latino Academy who would do the training for the commercial driver's license for the and partnerships that they've established. For the Serve Safe training, it would be, we've got a commercial kitchen that's available for use for startups. Small companies use it to do some cooking and some food prep. And so we have a number of folks, both in our volunteer ranks and then volunteers who are with other cafeterias and companies who are Serve Safe qualified to teach. So, did I answer them? Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. So, and with all three charity presentations complete, it's now time to vote. All three charities are so worthy of receiving our donation. So we are allowing 5 minutes to cast your vote. Katie, who is the woman behind the scenes of this meeting, will be sharing the poll for Zoom attendees to vote. And as a reminder, guests and charities are not eligible to vote, but you will see the poll appear on your screen. We appreciate you honoring our honor system. Remember, please vote for one charity only, and good luck to all charities.
Okay, so hopefully everybody on Zoom can hear me as well. So thank you all. I'm so glad that we were able to do this today. Thank you for your tolerance of our technical issues. And I also do want to do a shout out for Goodman Center. They were kind enough to donate this facility to us and for the entire year. So all 4 quarters are going to be here, and so happy. So that we can kind of figure out the technical details once, and then hopefully get better and better as we exercise our technology skills. So we're really happy now to welcome back our December 2021 Impact Award charity, UW Odyssey Project. So excited to introduce both Jenny and Shar to share an update since receiving our Impact Award in December. So thanks for joining us tonight. Come on up.
That's my down button?
Yep.
Okay. Can people hear me? Okay. I actually used to be on the board, and I worked at Goodman for a number of years. And so when the mic was going in and out, I was like, I have to fix this. And if we were over in Ironworks, I think I could have, right? Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to come back and share with you the impact of your support. We are so grateful for that support. For those of you who might not have seen Emily and Kina's presentation, the UW Odyssey Project takes a whole family approach to breaking the cycle of generational poverty through free access to education. So through free college classes and wraparound support. And I'm gonna go through quickly so that you can meet Shar, who's Odyssey class of 2006, and now our classroom assistant and ambassador extraordinaire. And I've got some slides, and I'm gonna press the down arrow. So Odyssey has 4 parts. You may have heard there's the core class. Every year there are 30 students who get 6 UW credits in the humanities, and they study philosophy and art and history and writing, a lot of writing and reading and critical thinking. And so these are some of our students, and they get their UW IDs, which is a very meaningful thing. Shar can speak to that. Another part of our program is Odyssey Junior, and that is pre-college enrichment program for the programs for the children and grandchildren of Odyssey students and alumni. That's part of the multi-generational impact that Odyssey makes. Was that not Odyssey Junior before? Reading to a dog, very important to practice your reading. Sometimes you need a non-judgmental audience.
Right.
Onward Odyssey is the program for alums. So it provides all sorts of wraparound support, tutoring, counseling, advising, and Shar can tell you more about that as she is embarking on her quest for her degree. Okay, here's the last part. Odyssey Beyond Bars, it's the newest program, and that expands our transformative programming into prisons throughout Wisconsin. So we provided the first 4-credit UW class in a Wisconsin prison in over 100 years this past year. So COVID, and I think other speakers have mentioned this, COVID hit our students and our families particularly hard. It hit everyone hard, but especially people who are living in poverty for a variety of reasons. And also our students, 95% of them are people of color. And I think the combination, honestly, of economic and racial inequities has really had a serious impact on our students. So what we did in response was to quadruple the amount of support that we provide to students so they can stay on their educational paths. And that's what you helped us do. So some of the things that we were able to do with students who are taking classes in the current course and also alumni was to help them when they lost wages, dealing with homelessness, food insecurity, childcare costs, Wi-Fi, internet access. We provided laptops to each incoming student. And that is something that we are going to continue. We realize that's been a need all along. It just wasn't as visible to us. So we will continue that. Help with medical and dental expenses and other challenges. A few examples. We gave all students a Woodman's gift card for food and gas because those costs have skyrocketed over the past 2 years. We paid rent for Michelle when she was hospitalized. We got a thrift store voucher for Yasmin, who is no longer homeless, but was living in an empty apartment with no mattresses for her and her 2 young children. We paid half the cost of dental surgery for Indira when she was in too much pain to attend classes. We gave Capri extra childcare funds to hire help to watch her severely disabled son, who's 4 and cannot walk or feed himself. We helped Katrina with gas money so she could drive to the funeral of her aunt who had died of cancer. We paid to get an Odyssey course reader and one of our oracles, which is our student-produced readers of their own written material. We had that mailed to Michelle's mom, who is incarcerated at Tachita, the women's prison, so that they could talk about the readings together and so that Michelle could read to her the profile of a woman in courage that she had written about her mom. We purchased and delivered art supplies to Helena, who was pregnant and was feeling unwell, so she could complete her art project. And then finally, we delivered extra Odyssey Junior bags to students who are parents, because everyone who has a child, I think, in school right now is struggling as they go in and out of school and with quarantine. Those are the things that you helped Odyssey do, and we're very, very grateful for that. And now I'm just going to give it over to Shar.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Oh, I'll be real quick. Thank you very much. I just want to say that, as Jenny had said, it hit the Odyssey. COVID hit real hard. There was a mother, and I did the delivery. She had COVID, had twins, and she didn't have laundry money. Just delivering her quarters so she could do laundry. Then there was another woman who she actually died, and going to the hospital and visiting her and watching her tears of joy as I entered the room and basically supporting her through that. I'm a graduate of Odyssey. It is a program that is of love, and we support each other, and we are rooted like a birch tree. The one thing that I can say, my high school counselor told me that I was not college material. I am currently on the track. I am attending college with dual degrees, and it will be in creative writing and Chinese. And the advice that I am giving to my high school counselor is to invest in Odyssey.
So as we said, save the date. So our upcoming meetings are June 13th here at Goodman, September 12th here at Goodman, and December 12th right here. We are also going to have the hybrid link available, so we'll make sure that we're Zooming for all of those meetings as well, allowing people to make their choice how they'd like to attend. So save those dates. And then this is our kind of our pride slide. And so we're really excited to say that in the 8 years of impact, all of the incredible donations that all of you have made accumulated to $516,000. And so we are just blown away at your generosity and your ability to impact the community. And so thank you so much. We plan to build on that success, but we're so happy for how much that we've been able to do together. So thank you. A round of applause to all of you. So without further ado, we'd like to announce the moment that we've been waiting for. And tonight's winner of the 100 Plus Impact Award for March 22 is BSP Free Clinic. So thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the charities who presented tonight. Everybody did such a great job, and thank you for putting up with our technology. And so we just want to congratulate BSP Free Clinic. Thank you all for participating and helping us, and hopefully we can invite you back at future meetings. So thank you so much.
There's more pie.
And there's more pie. So take some on your way out, please. So thank you all.
Yeah.